What if I told you that within your spine lies a hidden code, a living staircase with 33 steps, each one a key to unlocking an ancient matrix of energy and consciousness? You might think your spine is just a biological structure, a column of bones and nerves. But what if it's much more? What if it's a sacred antenna vibrating with signals not only from your body, but from the very fabric of the universe? Many have reported strange sensations, a subtle wave moving up their back, tingling through each vertebra, as if a luminous serpent were awakening. This is no ordinary phenomenon. Across cultures, this is known as Kundalini, the coiled energy at the base of the spine, said to awaken under rare and profound circumstances. When it rises, it doesn't just affect your body, it shifts your perception of reality. You begin to sense the world as vibration, not matter. You see patterns, feel synchronicities, and notice a field of intelligence responding to your thoughts. This isn't fantasy, it aligns with what quantum physics now suggests, that the universe is not made of solid things, but of dynamic fields of probability, a quantum matrix sensitive to observation, intention, and frequency. And within this matrix, your spine is more than a structure, it's a channel. Each of the 33 vertebrae may serve as energetic gates, each one activating a different aspect of your awareness, much like tuning forks resonating with hidden dimensions. What happens when energy finally reaches the top, the 33rd vertebra? Some describe a moment of silence so vast it contains everything. Others report an experience of unity, no longer you versus the world, but you as the world, a dissolving of separation. This is only the beginning of the journey, and it starts with a single question. What if your spine is the ladder back to the source, the human body as a quantum antenna? What if your body wasn't just a vessel, but a precision-engineered instrument designed to receive and transmit frequencies from a deeper layer of reality? Science tells us that everything vibrates. From atoms to stars, all existence is rhythm. But ancient mystics knew this long before microscopes or equations. They taught that the spine is not only the central axis of the body, but also the bridge between the earth and the cosmos. At the base lies the sacrum, a word rooted in the Latin sacre meaning sacred. It is the starting point of the Kundalini force coiled energy, often described as serpent-like dormant until awakened. From there, the energy ascends, moving through the chakras, spinning wheels of light aligned with endocrine glands and nerve plexuses. But these are more than metaphors. They are energetic hubs, conduits between the seen and unseen. Now consider this, each vertebra is not merely a bone. It acts like a resonator vibrating in response to specific emotional, mental, and even cosmic frequencies. When you experience trauma, certain vertebrae contract. When you heal or awaken, they open. Your spinal column then becomes a living antenna, constantly adjusting its signal. Modern physics suggests that we live within a quantum field, a matrix in which every point is connected to every other. And like a radio tuning into a frequency, your body has the ability to synchronize with different layers of this field. This is not esoteric speculation. Studies in epigenetics, neuroplasticity, and heart-brain coherence now point to the body's potential to change its electromagnetic signature through intention and awareness. So imagine this: when you meditate, breathe with intention, or move consciously, what if you're literally tuning your internal antenna to receive higher levels of intelligence? What if the sensation of energy rising through your spine is actually you aligning with the quantum lattice of the universe? From the base of your spine to the crown of your head, you possess a structure that is not just biological, but deeply spiritual, wired to transcend dimensions. The spine is the flute of consciousness, and when played with awareness, it sings the ancient song of awakening. The gatekeepers, ancient cultures and symbols. What if the spine's secrets were never hidden, only encoded, waiting to be read in the symbols left by ancient cultures? Across the world, civilizations separated by oceans and centuries described a sacred path running through the body. They carved serpents into stone, painted ascending figures of light, and built structures aligned with the spine of the earth itself. Take the Dogon people of Mali. Long before telescopes, they spoke of Sirius B, an invisible star with a 50-year orbit around Sirius A. But they also spoke of Nomo, amphibious beings who descended from the sky, bringing knowledge of energy vibration and inner ascension. Their symbol, a spiraling serpent rising upward, eerily echoing the path of Kundalini through the 33 vertebrae. In ancient Egypt, the staff of Thoth and Hermes Trismegistus, the caduceus, shows twin serpents winding around a central axis topped by wings. Modern medicine uses this symbol, yet few realize what it truly depicts: the spine, the Ida and Pingala energy channels, and the rising consciousness that grants flight. In Kabbalistic mysticism, the Tree of Life has 10 sephirot aligned in vertical symmetry. Some interpret it as a map of creation, others as a diagram of the human soul. But look again, it mirrors the spinal column, with pathways linking energetic centers, rising toward unity with the divine. Even the Mayan step pyramids with their 33 steps to the summit suggest more than architecture. They mimic the inner climb, the ascension of awareness, through layered dimensions, each level a gatekeeper to the next. These cultures were not primitive, they were precise, and they all pointed toward the same truth: the body is the temple, the spine is the altar, and energy is the sacrament. But here's the question: why 33? Why does this number appear in so many mystical traditions? Christ is said to have been crucified at 33. The highest degree in Freemasonry is the 33rd. In numerology, 33 is the master teacher, the vibration of sacred service and enlightenment. It is not coincidence, it is code. Each vertebra may represent not just a segment of your body, but a gateway guarded by memory, emotion, and karmic patterning. To ascend, one must pass through these gates with awareness, humility, and light. You are not just a seeker, you are the path itself. And these ancient gatekeepers, these symbols, myths, and rituals are not outside of you. They are reflections of what your spine already knows. Quantum mechanics and the journey of awakening. What if your awakening wasn't mystical fiction, but a quantum shift waiting to unfold inside your very biology? Modern physics has shattered the old certainty that the universe is a clockwork machine. In its place, it reveals a cosmos woven with uncertainty, entanglement, and infinite possibility. And the key to this universe, the observer. In the famous double-slit experiment, particles behave like waves until someone observes them. Then reality collapses into form. The act of perception shapes the world. But here's the mystery: if consciousness can influence particles, what happens when consciousness turns inward upon the self? The awakening of Kundalini may be the inner expression of this quantum principle. When energy rises through the 33 vertebrae, it doesn't merely stir the nervous system, it collapses your personal wave function. It forces you to witness your own being stripped of illusion. In that moment, you are both particle and wave, both self and source. Each vertebra then becomes a threshold, an energetic node where quantum potential condenses into awareness. Trauma stored in your body is not just psychological, it's frozen vibration, collapsed energy. And as Kundalini ascends, it liberates these stored waveforms, releasing you into higher frequencies of being. This is not magic, it is physics of the subtle. In quantum language, this process is a phase transition, like ice turning into water or water into steam. The same substance reorganized by energy. And when enough inner heat, prana, breath, intention is generated, your consciousness transforms. No longer solid, no longer bound. You begin to sense time differently. Synchronicities increase. You become aware of thoughts as fields, emotions as frequencies, the body as a receiver of multidimensional input. Physicist David Bohm spoke of the implicate order, a hidden dimension where everything is enfolded into everything else. When your spine awakens, you don't just feel energy, you start to remember that deeper order, that you are not isolated, you are entangled with the cosmos itself. You see, awakening is not a destination. It's a reconfiguration of identity. Not becoming something new, but realizing you are always part of the quantum web. And as Kundalini spirals upward, your awareness expands outward. You're no brainwave states and dimensional doorways. What if your mind was not confined to your skull, but acted more like a tuner, dialing into different layers of reality based on frequency? The brain emits waves, electric rhythms, known as brainwave states, and each one corresponds to a specific level of consciousness. But these aren't just mental patterns. They are keys to hidden realms. When you are fully alert and analytical, your brain vibrates in beta waves, focused, but often restless. Drop deeper into calm awareness, and you shift into alpha, a state where creativity and intuition begin to emerge. Descend further and you enter theta, the realm of dreams, trance, and inner vision. Go even deeper and you find delta, the vibration of deep sleep and regeneration. But then something extraordinary happens with training devotion, or through spontaneous awakening. You can access gamma, a fast synchronized wave that connects distant parts of the brain in a unified harmonic rhythm. Gamma is often recorded in the brains of seasoned meditators, mystics, and monks. It's associated with compassion, bliss, and a felt sense of unity with the cosmos. Now imagine this: as Kundalini rises up your spine, it does not act alone. It moves in concert with these brainwave frequencies, unlocking dimensional doorways as it goes. Each chakra it touches is not just a center of the body, but a vibrational portal attuned to a specific brainwave band. When your third eye begins to pulse, when your crown tingles with energy, it's not imagination, it's your consciousness synchronizing with a higher field. The ancient yogis knew this without EEG machines. They taught techniques of breath, mantra, and visualization to shift states at will. Modern neuroscience is only now catching up. The sushumna, the central energy channel along your spine, becomes a bridge. With every breath, you're not just inhaling oxygen, you're sending intention through the spinal highway, recalibrating your inner circuitry. The breath becomes sacred. The spine, your axis mundi. In moments of deep meditation, you may feel weightless, timeless. Your body dissolves and you are awareness itself, floating in an ocean of golden stillness. You've crossed a threshold, not metaphorically, literally. Through the right alignment of breath, brainwaves, and spinal energy, you've opened a dimensional doorway within. And what lies beyond is not a fantasy realm, it's the architecture of consciousness, waiting for you to remember how to walk through it. Biological manifestations in the superconscious. What if the strange sensations you sometimes feel in your body, tingling heat pressure between the brows, weren't symptoms to be feared, but signs of a deeper activation? As Kundalini rises, it doesn't only move through your energetic anatomy. It flows through your biology. It stirs glands, nerves, and cells in ways modern medicine still struggles to explain. But ancient wisdom has long known your body is built for transcendence. Let's begin with the pineal gland nestled deep within the brain. Often called the seat of the soul, this tiny gland is sensitive to light and vibration. It produces melatonin regulating sleep, but under certain conditions, prolonged meditation, rhythmic breath, or a surge of Kundalini, it may also produce DMT, a molecule linked to mystical experience in visions beyond time. Right beside it, the pituitary gland governs hormonal balance. Together, these two act like spiritual transmitters, opening the third eye, expanding intuition, and triggering experiences of cosmic unity. But they only activate fully when the energy has climbed to the upper vertebrae, completing its sacred ascent. Meanwhile, at the base of the brainstem, the medulla oblongata serves as a control hub for life itself. Heartbeat, breath, survival reflexes. As energy rises past this threshold, something shifts. Your identity begins to detach from survival mode and merge into the superconscious. This isn't philosophy, it's a biological event. Your heart rhythm changes. Brain hemispheres begin to synchronize. Blood chemistry shifts. You begin to emit a coherent electromagnetic field, measurable and radiant. People around you feel the difference. You've stepped into a new vibrational reality. This is why during Kundalini awakening, many experience heat in the spine, vibrations in the skull, or intense emotional purging. These are calibrations, not malfunctions. The body is reorganizing itself to house more light, more awareness. But it's not always easy. If your nervous system is unprepared, the influx of energy can feel overwhelming. That's why ancient systems always taught gradual cultivation, breathwork, mantra, stillness, devotion. Not to force awakening, but to prepare the vessel. Because when the spine is open, when the chakras are aligned, when the glands are singing in harmony, something profound occurs. You begin to live not just from instinct or intellect, but from a higher intelligence. A consciousness that watches thoughts without being caught by them, that loves without clinging, that sees without judgment. This is the superconscious, the awakened self, rooted in the body, but expanded beyond it. and it all begins in the sacred corridor of your spine. Light and shadow within the matrix. What if your journey through the 33 vertebrae wasn't only about light, but also about facing the shadows embedded within the code? The matrix you live in is not just external. It exists inside you. And like any complex system of energy, it holds both radiance and resistance. Awakening isn't a gentle ascent up a golden staircase, it is a pilgrimage through the terrain of your deepest fears, buried memories, and ancient wounds. Each vertebra along your spine is more than bone. It holds energetic imprints, echoes of experiences, ancestral memories, and karmic residue. As Kundalini rises, these layers begin to surface, not to punish you, but to be seen, felt, and transmuted. This is the part of the journey most don't talk about. You may feel sudden grief, rage without cause, or overwhelming sadness. Physical pain may arise in areas where trauma has crystallized. This is not regression, it is purification. The light of rising awareness begins to burn through the stored frequencies that no longer serve your evolution. Ancient yogis called these energetic blocks granthis knots in the subtle body. There are three primary ones tied to survival root: emotion, heart, and ego, third eye. Each must be softened, opened, or dissolved for the full current of Kundalini to ascend unobstructed. But here lies a deeper truth: your shadows are not enemies. They are gatekeepers. Each shadow you encounter holds a lesson, a gift hidden in darkness. Fear becomes courage. Pain becomes empathy. Shame becomes sacred humility. You are not here to escape your humanity, but to alchemize it. Just as a lotus grows through mud to bloom in sunlight, your consciousness must rise through the density of human experience to reach transcendence. And the spine, this vertical axis of awareness, is where that alchemy occurs. As the energy moves upward, the matrix within you begins to reprogram. Old identities collapse. You begin to let go of who you thought you were, the wounded one, the seeker, even the spiritual one. What remains is presence, pure luminous presence. But don't rush this process. Each vertebra opens on its own time like petals responding to the morning sun. Respect the pace, honor the discomfort, celebrate the subtle shifts. Because the deeper you go into your shadow, the more powerfully you will radiate light. And when the last knot is released, when the final resistance melts, you will no longer be moving through the matrix. You will be the matrix conscious, awakened, and alive, merging with the cosmic mind. What if the end of your spiritual ascent wasn't the top of a ladder, but the dissolution of all ladders, all selves, all boundaries? As the energy completes its rise through the 33rd vertebra, past the base of the skull, and into the crown, something ineffable begins to unfold. The linear narrative of you starts to dissolve. Thoughts become distant echoes. Identity flickers like a candle at dawn. This is the threshold where the personal merges with the cosmic. In ancient texts, this union was called Samadhi Phana, the great liberation Christ consciousness. Names change, but the essence remains a full-body immersion into the field of pure intelligence, the mind of the universe itself. And yet this merging doesn't feel grandiose. It is profoundly intimate. You realize that your breath is the earth breathing, that the rhythm of your heart echoes the pulse of galaxies, that every sensation, thought, and emotion was never yours, but waves on a vast ocean of shared existence. The spine, now fully awakened, becomes a pillar of light, an axis that channels the celestial into the cellular. You become a living interface between dimensions. Heaven is no longer a place, it is your state of being. There is still a body, yes, still a world, a voice, a gaze, but now everything is infused with presence. You don't speak, consciousness speaks through you. You don't love, you are love, simply recognizing itself in all forms. Time slows or dissolves. You begin to sense parallel realities, overlapping fields of possibility. Every choice, every moment becomes sacred. You are no longer reacting, you are creating, sculpting reality with frequency, clarity, and purpose. This is not an escape from life. It is the full embodiment of life as divine expression. And yet, even here the journey continues. For now you carry a responsibility, not as burden, but as beacon, to walk through the world as a bridge, to be the eye in the storm, to radiate coherence in chaos. To guide others not with dogma, but by the quiet gravity of your presence. This is what the ancient ones meant when they spoke of the awakened one. Not a guru on a mountaintop, but a human being whose 33 gates are open, whose spine is illuminated, and whose heart beats in rhythm with the stars. You have returned to the source, and yet you've never left. If you've made it this far, then something within you already knows this was never just a story. It was a mirror held up to the dormant brilliance encoded in your spine, your breath, your being. The path you followed through vertebrae, waveforms and ancient symbols, has not led you somewhere new. It has led you home. Your spine, that silent column you carry every day, is not merely biological. It is symbolic of your ascent, your remembrance. Each vertebra is a rung of return, not upward to escape the earth, but inward to re-inhabit it with full awareness. Through Kundalini's rise, through the alignment of breath and frequency, you become both grounded and cosmic, both human and divine. In a universe made of vibration, your consciousness is the tuning fork. The more you clear, breathe, and open, the more coherent your resonance becomes. You cease to chase truth because you are the field where truth reveals itself. But remember, awakening is not an endpoint. It is a rhythm, a spiral, a sacred pulse that continues long after the crown has lit. You will forget and remember again. You will contract and expand. This is the dance. So take this journey not as doctrine, but as invitation. An invitation to feel each moment through your spine. To sit in stillness and listen for the hum of the quantum field within you. To walk the world as a living bridge between science and spirit, matter and mystery. And when the world seems dense or chaotic, place your awareness at the base of your spine. Breathe, rise. You are the antenna. You are the matrix, and you are awakening.